I guess could you just kind of start like go through the last maybe 5, 6 minutes of the fourth? I mean, I know there was cut it within six. And I guess you had the open look on the wing. So what did you see there? Obviously, I know it didn't go down, but what kind of flipped there? Then they were able to kind of go on a run, some offensive rebounds, things of that nature.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like all night they were able to get to those 50-50 balls a little bit quicker than us. Sometimes it was a good bounce. Sometimes it was just they were a step ahead of us. And I think that's where, usually we excel. That's usually what our bread and butter is. We kind of make sure we get to those 50-50 balls. We make sure that we're physical enough to where we're putting them on their heels a little bit, but they capitalized on all those ones that they got, and they shot the hell out of it.
Is it a flashback a little bit to the Atlanta series when you guys went small? They pulled in a bunch of offensive rebounds at the end of the game to kind of win. I mean, I know that happens. That's a risk to take when you guys go small, but is it kind of frustrating that you're in that position again in the finals and yet again another team gets those 50-50 balls?
I'd have to watch the film a little bit, but I don't know if it felt like Ayton got a ton of them down the stretch. It felt kind of like it was the ones that were loose. It felt like it was the long range ones. It felt like it was the ones, I think Mikal got a tip on a little bit. They just got their hands on it, and and I think it was more or less the ones by the free throw line. Ayton obviously definitely is a load in there on the offensive boards, but I think it was more those ones that were kind of loose that we just didn't come up with.
Second row to Eric.
You have two chances in transition. Playing first one, you kind of swing it to Chris, turnover. Second one, you shoot. Just kind of what's going through your head in those.
Try to make the shot. One of them I saw Chris. I mean, Chris is Chris. He's an all-star. When I see him open, I try to get him the ball. Definitely should have shot it. Ayton ran back in transition. He found the most dangerous guy, if you want to call it. That's kind of how we do transition defense. And then I just missed one of them. I think there were a few shots that I could have made that I missed. But that's kind of the name of the game. You want to make sure you put your best shot on it. And you want to make sure, you're trying to put your team in a position to win.
And then I guess defensively, I know you guys didn't finish the possessions with the defense rebounds, but what do you feel like going small did to CP and to Devin?
Yeah, I thought I put them in some tough positions. I think there were times we were able to pressure him. There were times we were able to make him take some tough shots. I think there were a few times that we unfortunately bailed him out with some fouls. I can remember one or two that happened to me on rear view contests. But we want to be active. We want to make sure that they feel a little bit more uncomfortable enforcement of some of those tough shots. But you got to finish the possession. And I think they capitalized on a lot of those threes after they got the offensive rebounds. And at the end of the day, I think they hit 19, 23, something like that.
Go ahead, Sam. Third row.
Had the cameras in the third quarter had caught Giannis getting real emotional with you guys and just trying to get everybody going. What was the message? But then also your time with him the last couple of years, has he changed when it comes to the leadership component and those key moments and connecting in that way?
Yeah, I think his message was just, it's not about any of us individually. It's about us collectively. Stay together, stick together, take it one possession at a time, was his message in that timeout. And then, he's definitely changed. He's grown as a leader. He's grown as a leader vocally. He always had that, workman type attitude, and he always put as much time in the gym as anybody. But even when he got hurt, he was vocal. He was with us. He was present. He was in the locker room. He was on the bench during games. He was pulling people aside individually. He was pulling the team aside collectively. And I think he's done a phenomenal job in his growth as a leader vocally.
Third row on the right.
Pat, in the first half, they were hitting a lot of threes as well. I think that was coming a little bit more in the half court. When they're shooting like that, in your mind, are you like, they can't keep making every single one of these? Or did you feel like, maybe we're not doing something we're supposed to be?
We're pros. They can keep making them. I've seen it happen. I think we definitely tried to make some adjustments at halftime. I mean, we were active in the first half, being in the passing lanes, and they made some shots. So we tried to be a little bit less active going into the second half as far as, staying in. We wanted to show a body and then try to get out. And it felt like in the second half, we did a better job of it. Again, I think they capitalized on the ones that they got loose at the end, and they definitely hit some transition threes, and Book hit a few shots that were tough and were contested and were step backs and things of that nature. But it's the NBA Finals. Great players do great things, and everyone around here can play. Everyone around here can shoot. So it's just about trying to make them feel a little bit more uncomfortable.
Go to Zoom for a question. Go ahead, please.
Let's go to Steven Watson.
Hey, Pat, this is a familiar territory for you guys being down 0-2 in a series. Only 30 teams in NBA postseason history have come back to win a series when down 0-2. What makes you believe that you guys can be 31?
I mean, we're competitors. We wouldn't be here if we didn't believe. So, we have a resilient group in that locker room. We have a group that has been through a lot. We've been through adversity this year. And the one thing that's remained consistent is we've fought through it together. We've had each other's backs. We've looked at each other in the locker room and we fought for the guy sitting next to you, the guy sitting on the other side of you. So it's no different here. I mean, you got to take it one game at a time, one half at a time, one quarter at a time, one possession at a time. And, we're focused on learning from the things that we need to learn from this past game and then making sure that we're looking towards game 3.
Back to Eric in the second row. Go ahead, please.
Were you at all surprised that Giannis, 1, could go for 40 minutes and then 2, put up kind of the numbers that he did and I think it's 9 days after he hyperextends his knee? And then also as he goes down with that cramp, kind of what's going through your mind?
Nothing Giannis does surprises me anymore. I mean, he's got the nickname Freak for a reason. I will say it's incredible what he's been able to do. And it hasn't happened without time that he's put in to, get himself ready, get his body better and, continue to do the things that he does to be a 2-time MVP. The cramp, fortunately, I was fortunate enough to kind of look back and see him stretch. So I didn't actually see him on the ground. So I didn't have a 5, 10, 18-second window to really be worried. But, he runs himself to exhaustion from time to time. He leaves it all out there. And that's all you can ask is, a franchise guy. And that's the type of guy that, I want to be playing next to. I was fortunate to play next to a guy like that in Portland with Dame. And I've been fortunate to play next to a guy like that in Giannis who continues to do it at a high level.